Today you're gonna see how this track was made.
Wait, hit him with the shit that go like. Okay. Check this.
Here's the deal. The entire project file is available on my Patreon, and this is not going to be a full breakdown because from the statistics, I know you guys' attention span is roughly 3 minutes. So I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to talk about one thing, and then if you're interested in any other aspect of this track, comment down below and I'll make another video about that. The entire explanation of everything is going to be available only for patrons, so subscribe! In today's video specifically, I'm going to be talking about the Granular second drop, which sounds like this.
Motherfucker, what?
Also this part as well.
Motherfucker, what?
So let's get it started. So if we take a look at the overall track, you can see there's the original idea, and then you might not notice it, but I disable the entire drop group for the second part. That's because I have this separate little granular thing over here. I'm a poor little boy, so I don't have granulizer in Ableton such as the FL Studio gods do, but I have granulator. Inside granulator, there is two guns, or like a gun loop, a short gun loop, which I put in from the actual project that we were working on. So I exported two of these guns that we have here. So we have those bam, bam. Those are inside the granulator. The granulator itself does split up the signal into small little bits of audio, and it repeats the same grain as it were. And you can automate the position, the grain size, the grain amount, and stuff like that. So I automated all of those things here, and I'm going to show you how it sounds without any effects. Now, this is pretty cool, pretty granular, but I wanted something more aggressive and a little more noisy, so I am using mellow wave shapers, just like this, with the almost 50% dry wet. The thing it does is basically just distortion, and then I use a narrow drive convolver, a little filtering, a little grungy grunge, or is it grungy? Cringy grunge. That's the preset I'm using, and a little filtering. But basically what this does, obviously it's not 100% dry wet, it makes it extremely harsh in the mids, and that's what I wanted. So I just added some noise in the form of distortion. Then I'm using OTT, another wave shaper, or sorry, wave folder. Then I use a little stab to make the top end a little bit more transient focused. And then I'm getting rid of all of these nasty kind of low mid-range. So anything around like 200 to 400 is usually a little muddy when it comes to sounds like this. So I take it out, you know, tone shaping just a little bit with EQ. That's it. Bass done. Mischief managed. Usually what happens if you use a bass like this is that it becomes a little too noisy in the low end. So as it splits up the audio into grains, the sub falls apart usually. So it's only good for fills and like downbeat basses. So that's why I use it like that. In this case, I managed to find a good rhythm that it works in. So this part was sounding really interesting, but the sub didn't match because it fell apart. So I replaced it with a separate sub bass. But let me show you this section. A little sub, but I used the wave shaper method to give some noise to the actual sub because I wanted that electric, how should I put this? The Space Laces crunchy sub electric This was a duplicated version of the same granulator, and I just basically used my gun processing that I usually use for guns, you know, like frequency shifters, fake dispersers and whatnot. And I used that to create this gun, which I ended up freezing because this was really not manageable, because as soon as you have multiple MIDIs right after each other, it kind of sounds messy. Second one is way too quiet, so I froze it, used it on a different channel. Little sub noise tweaked from the same thing. Nothing too crazy, as I usually say. And the second part is just a different gun from the same granulator patch. But yeah, that's the entire thing. Oh wait, hold on. This part is made with a different granular plugin. It's called Quanta. It's really amazing. I'm sure you've seen this over the years. It basically does the same thing as Granular 2, but this is more reliable as far as controls and modulation goes, because sometimes Max for Live plugins like Granulator can tweak out or they don't open up with the same settings, but I might be just using an old version. But yeah, this is the entire B section of both drops. I'm going to show you this section, or sorry, this section. And then the sub is just this typical quarter note pitching down. But yeah, you get the idea. If you want to see more stuff like this, make sure to subscribe to my Patreon and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I also released a Serum 2 preset pack, which is jam-packed with a lot of goodies. If you're into Serum 2 sound design and you want to learn and reverse engineer all the new features like granular oscillators, spectral oscillators, the built-in disperser filter, and the almost unlimited effect chains, feel free to grab that at nospheremusic.com. Peace out. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to check out my website for a lot of high quality Serum and Vital presets and drum samples. You can also support me on Patreon, where I upload bass music specific tutorial content every single month. Peace.